Have you ever said, we can't afford that? Or, we just don't have enough money? Ever struggled to feed your family or pay your bills on time? What about calling yourself broke or poor? Do you recall hearing yourself say no, time and time again, to opportunities, purely based on what is or what isn't in your bank account? The pain, despair, embarrassment and anger that accompanies financial struggles greatly affects you and your family. Its feeling is felt throughout the home and will be surely picked up by your children. What's so far worse than that though, is you are subconsciously setting your children up to experience that exact same thing in their future. Your children are learning negative beliefs about money, that it's hard to get, there is a shortage of it, and the unfortunate truth is, money will control their life. As your children grow, they'll be conditioned to seek a good job. They'll be taught and encouraged to trade their time for money. Unfortunately, these days, earnings from a job is barely enough to live, let alone really live. And goodness forbid, at some point they might not be able to find a job. Their whole world will feel like it's collapsing and they'll be terrified. Do you think an entrepreneur or investor is scared about not having a job? There is a huge difference in the way they are being taught to think and the way a successful person thinks. Consider these shocking statistics. I recently conducted a survey of 100 parents. At some point in their lives, 94% said they'd experienced financial hardship. 92% hoped it was something their children never had to experience. 89% of parents agreed they didn't think the school curriculum taught financial intelligence. But only a staggering 3% of the parents said they taught their children extracurriculum activities in financial matters. So if the schools aren't teaching it, and the parents aren't teaching it, how are the children ever going to learn? I'm here to tell you can break the cycle. You can make a change in their story. You have the power right now to act and give your child or children a chance at a life free from the money struggles, a chance at financial freedom, to give your child the mindset of a great entrepreneur and a successful investor. I will reveal it all to you shortly. First, however, I need to share a personal story with you. I'm embarrassed to tell my story. I didn't want to share it, but it's too important not to. Not too many years ago, we were flat out broke. Probably worse because we were struggling with the basic living necessities and we were swamped in debt. My husband was working full-time and I was at home raising the children. This one particular winter, we couldn't even afford to keep the house warm. I was collecting wooden offcuts from the recycle bin at the local landscape store just to keep the house warm. We existed in this barely getting by state for years. No sooner would we pay off one debt, we would acquire another. Life was a struggle every day. We were always trying to make the paycheck go further than it was possible. We did the logical thing and we worked harder for our money. My husband took extra hours and I tried a night job. I just ended up exhausted and with whooping cough. At that point, we just accepted that this was the life meant for us and we got on with it. Now, some years prior, we'd been given a book, and up until this point, it had been living on our bookshelf collecting dust. We must have walked past it thousands of times, I would hate to think. Anyway, one day my toddler enthusiastically picked this book up for me to read to him and threw it, and it hit me in the face. And it literally took being hit in the face by this book for me to pay any attention to it. So I took it as a pretty big sign and I read it. Now, that book was penned by the amazing Robert Kiyosaki, and from that moment a series of events had begun in our lives where suddenly everything was spiraling into control. Now, it's only a few years later and we now have multiple businesses in our investment portfolio, as well as investment property. We've got stocks and shares, and we've recently bought bullion. The most impressive part about our story is our children, who are barely school age, they've also got their own investment portfolios. They are learning the mindset qualities of great entrepreneurs and how our investments make money for us. They've each got a couple of $1,000s in their bank accounts, and this was all started from the odd golds and silvers in their money tins. My children understand they've got a long-term goal to buy their first investment property before any of them leave school. So I'm just an ordinary person and they're just normal kids. However, the gift of knowledge that we've given our children, that is extraordinary. By far, our family's favourite investments have been made by buying low and selling high. We've had great fun and successes doing this, as well as gaining massive confidence in marketing and selling things. I go over some of their investments in great detail in the program. There's a number of websites you can buy basically any products directly from the manufacturer. Even with international shipping added, buying locally is still far more expensive. You can source entire products ready to go, parts to make your own products, or personally branded products for just a fraction of the price of a local supplier. The great thing about this is you can get started with as little as $10. For just $200, you could make up to $1,000 profit with the right products. Our first ever project, we turned a $274 investment into $1,124 of profit. This program details 30 actionable and fun activities for the children with the help of their parents or caregivers to complete. Pure Young Minds was started to give kids an education they will not receive at school. Actionable steps to install the mindset of the rich and wealthy. It focuses on technical aspects of investing through to the mindset needed for balanced success. You will learn how to identify passions and problem solve in a way you'll be financially rewarded for doing so. It's actually possible to hardwire these concepts into a Pure Young Mind through the buildings of neural pathway. This means it will become the only way your child knows to act. This isn't a get-rich-quick scheme, rather teachings of financial intelligence to last a lifetime. The great thing about this program is even though it was designed with children in mind, it's an excellent tool for anyone wishing to change their financial position. I've had many adults sign up because of its simplicity and easy to understand language. So whether your child is just starting to learn about money, at school, or even older, this program will give the user freedom in their life to make decisions not based on what the bank account says you can do. It will train the mind to see an abundance of opportunities in the world all around them. With your child's best interest at heart, it's an easy choice to make to give them this gift of knowledge, this gift which will greatly improve their quality of life. I'm committed to making this program available to as many families as possible. I believe every child deserves to know the teachings in this program. As such, we have a range of memberships available to suit all families. If you're still here listening, I already know how committed you are to your children's best future. I really do regret to inform you that as our number of students around the world grow, we must increase our supporting resources. This will unfortunately bring a price increase, so now is the time to secure this program for this low price. It's been years in the making and includes 3 free giveaway ebooks. The total value is well over $2,000, but our memberships will pleasantly surprise you, ranging from just $397 to $507. You will gain instant access to the program after the checkout process, and we can get started today. I'm so excited to work with you and your children and hear of their many successes as they grow into the little investors and little entrepreneurs they were born to be.